I'd like to welcome you all to our travel edition of the Lunch Club, where we have our host Lou. And this is our ocean finale for the month of September. We looked at all the different oceans in the world. So today we're being a little existential and a little inquisitive and taking a look at the world ocean. So if I zoom in here, again, I know it's a little blurry, but we took a look at the Southern Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean together. So I hope you all enjoyed and learned something new. So now we're going to go again a little more inquisitive, as mentioned. And our first video for today will be, thank you all so much for your patience and enjoy our session today. Let's just make sure we keep our mics in mind, all that wonderful stuff. Thank you. And let's get this show on the road. So our first video, here you go, Lou, you can introduce it.
All right. Should I read something here, Alex, or we just get to watch?
Yeah.
Okay, the mystery of the Earth's ocean, how the universe works. Oh, this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, for years, scientists suspected that they came from molecules delivered to Earth from distant stars by comets and asteroids, but the origins could be even more exotic. So this is from the Science Channel.
All right.
Any thoughts on the video? How interesting. Our water could have came from Jupiter.
That's really interesting. That's the first time I've seen anything like this.
Me too. It frightened me. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, it didn't frighten me, but it just, I mean, we've had, being a teacher, we've had a lot of stuff that is shown to the kids, and I've never seen anything like this. So I'm going to
Me
give
too.
my,
I was a teacher too, but I never seen anything like that.
We're so
no.
blessed to be here, right? Our
So blessed.
nation of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
Earth, and we're at this time that we can know or even attempt to know these things, right?
Right.
I didn't fully understand what they meant by snow line. Did anybody pick up on that? Like,
Yeah,
what
but
is
I didn't
snow
understand
line?
that either.
Yeah, it was a lot of new
real
things in
bad.
the video.
So is that like a distance from the sun after which there's like solid water, like liquid water? I don't know. I mean, solid water, like ice. I don't know. Oh, I love TED's talks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So look at this topic. So we just learned
Yeah.
kind of how our oceans came. So
Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Jennifer Verdun, she's incredible.
yeah, and what's the title, Lou?
Oh, I'm sorry. How do ocean currents work? Well, this was being presented by Ms. Jennifer Verdun. All right, Alex, take it away.
We live by the currents, plan by the tides, and follow the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
In 1992, a cargo ship carrying bath toys got caught in a storm. Shipping containers washed overboard, and the waves swept 28,000 rubber ducks and other toys into the North Pacific.
Anyone remember that story?
No.
That occurrence?
I do remember that.
28,000 rubber ducks.
I never heard of that ever.
Uh-huh.
In 1992,
1992.
a cargo ship carrying bath toys got caught in a storm. Shipping containers washed overboard, and the waves swept 28,000 rubber ducks and other toys into the North Pacific. But they didn't stick together. Quite the opposite. The ducks have since washed up all over the world, and researchers have used their paths to chart a better understanding of ocean currents. Ocean currents are driven by a range of sources: the wind, tides, changes in water density, and the rotation of the Earth. The topography of the ocean floor and the shoreline modifies those motions, causing currents to speed up, slow down, or change direction. Ocean currents fall into two main categories: surface currents and deep ocean currents. Surface currents control the motion of the top 10% of the ocean's water, while deep ocean currents mobilize the other 90%. Though they have different causes, surface and deep ocean currents influence each other in an intricate dance that keeps the entire ocean moving. Near the shore, surface currents are driven by both the wind and tides, which draw water back and forth as the water level falls and rises. Meanwhile, in the open ocean, wind is the major force behind surface currents. As wind blows over the ocean, it drags the top layers of water along with it. That moving water pulls on the layers underneath, and those pull on the ones beneath them. In fact, water as deep as 400 meters is still affected by the wind at the ocean's surface.
Who would have thought? Wind, even down there, it still affects the ocean surface.
If you zoom out to look at the patterns of surface currents all over the Earth, you'll see that they form big loops called gyres.
Remember gyres from last week when we talked about the Pacific Ocean? Gyres.
Which travel clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. That's because of the way the Earth's rotation affects the wind patterns that give rise to these currents. If the Earth didn't rotate, air and water would simply move back and forth between low pressure at the equator and high pressure at the poles. But as the Earth spins, air moving from the equator to the North Pole is deflected eastward, and air moving back down is deflected westward.
You all see how that works? Pretty cool, right?
And air moving back down is deflected westward. The mirror image happens in the southern hemisphere, so that the major streams of wind form loop-like patterns around the ocean basins. This is called the Coriolis effect. The winds push the ocean beneath them into the same rotating gyres. And because water holds onto heat more effectively than air, these currents help redistribute warmth around the globe. Unlike surface currents, deep ocean currents are driven primarily by changes in the density of seawater. As water moves towards the North Pole, it gets colder. It also has a higher concentration of salt, because the ice crystals that form trap water while leaving salt behind. This cold, salty water is more dense, so it sinks, and warmer surface water takes its place, setting up a vertical current called thermohaline circulation.
I've never heard of that term. That's pretty interesting.
And I never knew
Thermohaline.
that frozen seawater sheds its salt. That's never knew that.
And
That's why
circulation.
he said
That's
it's
a new one
salty.
on me too.
So
It's
if you're
more salty
stranded
up
in the
north.
ocean and there's and there's frozen seawater, you can melt that water and drink it.
Well, it's not as man, that's if it was that easy, we'd be way better off than we were. But that's certainly an idea for the future. But yes, it's more salty up north because when the water freezes, the salt comes out of it. So I always say
Never
more
knew that.
you are, more salty the water is.
Of deep water and wind-driven surface currents combine to form a winding loop called the global conveyor belt.
So don't forget the global conveyor belt, all because of some ducks.
As water moves from the depths of the ocean to the surface, it carries nutrients that nourish the microorganisms which form the base of many ocean food chains. The global conveyor belt is the longest current in the world, snaking all around the globe, but it only moves a few centimeters per second. It could take a drop of water 1,000 years to make the full trip. However, rising sea temperatures are causing the conveyor belt to seemingly slow down. Models show this causing havoc with weather systems on both sides of the Atlantic, and no one knows what would happen if it continues to slow or if it stopped altogether. The only way we'll be able to forecast correctly and prepare accordingly will be to continue to study currents and the powerful forces that shape them. What
I like this graphic right here, the little summary of the video. But any thoughts on currents and their impact, how they come to be, and anything new that you learned?
Just a lot of information to comprehend.
It sure is.
I just read up on that freezing water thing, and it says that if the seawater freezes slowly, it sheds almost all of the salt. But if it freezes fast, some of the salt gets trapped between the ice crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Scientific
if you're really
project.
thirsty, you know, and you happen to be stuck in the North Atlantic where there's ice floes around you, you know, I know that happens to us every other day. Then, you know, just make sure to grab some of the slow freezing ice to drink.
Oh. Any
Well,
other
since
thoughts?
I don't plan to be in the ocean
Eh,
floating around, but that
Currents.
is an interesting fact.
And especially our folks that may have came from like the islands or another place
Yeah.
or travel the oceans.
Well,
That's
how does the salt get into the water?
Good
That's a good
question.
question.
Good question.
I'm trying to figure out why does it have salt in it?
because that's how our earth formed.
Oh,
A
okay.
lot of things. That's a great question to research after our session.
But
So
and not just the oceans though. Think of like the Great Salt Lakes all over the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's coming out of the land somehow.
Yeah.
I'll do
Oh,
some
yeah, it
research.
might be coming out of the land, right? Uh-huh.
I'll do some research while this is a great question. I'll do some research while this is playing.
Okay. Thank you, Lou.
I'm going back on mute.
Oh my gosh, do I have to title this? So what is the difference between, I have a pop-up here, between, okay, I'm not sure where to go from here, Alex.
you may have your
Ponds,
lakes, rivers,
rivers,
seas, and oceans.
ocean.
How am I not seeing that?
It's at the bottom.
Make sure So I hope you all enjoy.
What is the difference between ponds, lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans? If a body of water is surrounded by land from all sides, it's either a pond or a lake. In general, if it's not too deep, it's a pond. If it is deep, then it's a lake. And some may
Damn.
between ponds, lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans. If a body of water is surrounded by land from all sides, it's either a pond or a
Yep. If it's surrounded by land on all sides, it's a pond or a lake.
lake. In general, if it's not too deep, it's a pond. If it is deep, then it's a lake. And
Yeah, ponds are shallow, lakes are deep. So if you fall in the middle of either one, you better hope it's a pond.
some may say, if it's small, it's a pond, and if it's big, it's a lake, but it's not always the case. A body of water may be small in size, but very deep. Is it a pond or a lake? It's still a lake because it's deep enough where the sunlight wouldn't reach the bottom. Conversely, a body of water may be large in size, but very shallow. Is it a pond or a lake? It's still a pond because it's not that deep. The sunlight can reach all the way to the bottom. What about lakes and rivers?
You ever thought of the words meaning different things, like ponds and lakes?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that, honestly.
Yeah.
Depends how deep it is. So even if no matter the top size of the top part, if it's deep, then it's a lake. If it's shallow, then it's a pond.
What is the difference? The biggest difference between lakes and rivers is that rivers are moving bodies of water. Its water is constantly on the move, while a lake is a standing body of water, meaning it does not really move that much.
All right, so Lou mentioned the Great Salt Lakes. So those don't move at all, that much. And the rivers, they are moving bodies of water.
Rivers also flow into another body of water, such as a sea or an ocean.
Rivers flow into either seas or oceans. So the Anacostia River, what ocean does that flow from, etc.? Just
The Atlantic.
Yeah, just thinking
The
like that.
Atlantic.
Mhm.
Just thinking those questions. Anytime you hear river, what does it flows into a sea or an ocean?
Mhm.
So again, the Niger River, the Nile River. So just think, anytime you hear river, it flows into a sea or an ocean.
Okay.
That's
Well, a
cool,
lake
Alex.
does
We
not.
know where the Niger River is now.
Speaking of seas and
It's
oceans,
Africa.
what is the difference between them?
Niger River.
Well, there are three main differences. Seas are smaller than oceans. Seas are shallower than oceans. Seas are connected to land, while oceans aren't. This illustration shows the difference more clearly. The sea connects the land with the ocean. So if you go to a beach, you would be swimming in the sea. A trick that
Let's
Make
see.
sure to keep the mics in mind, folks, okay? Please keep your mics in mind. Thank you so much.
can make you remember this difference is that if you're in the middle of the sea, you can see the land. But if you're in the middle of the ocean, you can't see the land because
If you're in a sea, you can see the land. If you're in an ocean, you can't see the land. That's a pretty neat way of thinking about it.
Hey,
oceans are not landlocked. So, to summarize everything, a pond is a shallow body of water that is surrounded by land from all sides. A lake is a deep body of water that is surrounded by land from all sides. A river is a moving body of water that flows into another body of water, such as a sea or an ocean. Seas are bodies of water partially surrounded by land, and
Partially. Okay.
you can see the land. And lastly, oceans are bodies of water larger than seas and are not landlocked. You cannot see any land.
What an interesting way to think about ponds, lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans.
But I'm not sure I agree with that sea thing because, for example, the Black Sea is a huge body of water, and when you're, a few miles offshore, you can't see the land, but it's still a sea, or the Caspian Sea, or there's a lot of big seas out there where you can't see the land when you're out there. So I'm not so sure about that. And then the
And
opposite,
also with Great Lakes.
if I'm in Ocean City, Maryland, and I'm swimming in that body of water, that's the ocean, but I can see the land. So I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Yeah, and also, Blue, the Great Lakes. I went to Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. Those things are huge.
Relatively, but you got to think about comparing it to seas and oceans and just the size. So I definitely see what you're saying. There's always going to be exceptions, but in general, I think they are pretty true in how they're geographically placed, but there's always going to be some nuances there.
It's strange also that the whole eastern shoreline, it's not a sea. We're swimming in
Well, it
the
could be.
Atlantic
We
Ocean.
never thought about it. It could be. We may see it in some of these videos or learn more of it. Just in general, just to kind of get an idea of like the size and it's just some general concepts, I think. I think that was, the idea of the video. Oh, I think Lou's on the
Sorry, guys, I was on a call for a second.
Okay.
So what if water and land suddenly shifted places? Okay, well, that doesn't happen every day. Let's see what happens.
Imagine a world where the cities we know are underwater, and what used to be the ocean is now a barren wasteland. This is a world where every bit of water and land have suddenly switched places.
Oh, this was a fun video, so we'll see what it's talking about.
Cities like New York and Paris would find themselves underwater. Tsunamis would come rushing into the cities, destroying everything. And if you're on a boat, you'd find yourself falling down into a dry ocean bed. The Amazon rainforest would be flooded, and ancient diseases would come back to life. Which species
Oh, wow, that would occur.
of animals and plants would fare the best? Is there any way humans could survive this? And what would our new Earth look like? This is What If, and here's what would happen if water and land suddenly switched places. One of the more unexpected changes we'd see in this scenario would be significant climate change. This would be because of changing weather patterns and changing ocean currents. And because this dramatic change is happening overnight, we won't have time to prepare for it. But what if we knew this massive switch was coming ahead of time? Would there be anything we could do to stop it? Well, to answer that, let's take a look at our own climate issues that we're dealing with here on Earth right now. Climate change is causing global sea levels to rise at an alarming rate, leaving some of the world's biggest cities like London and Bangkok facing significant threats within a few decades if we don't do anything to stop it. With this much advance notice, well, you'd think everyone would be taking action to prevent this grim future, but as we all know, that's not the case. Some people won't believe or care about climate change until they're faced with an extreme situation like the one we're talking about today. But many people do want to help and make a difference. They just don't know how. Well, I might have just the solution. Say hello to Solar Slice, the startup company making initiatives. And if you want to expand your initiatives, create group initiatives with friends or send solar slices scrapers to save themselves from drowning. They'll be looking outside, wondering when the waters are going to recede. Unfortunately, the answer is never, because in our new world, water is here to stay on the old land. In this scenario, there would be two kinds of unlucky people. First, the ones who were outside on dry land and couldn't swim, they would have drowned immediately. The second group are the ones who lived far away from any kind of water, because now they'd be surrounded by water with no ability to get to land, unless they had a boat stored somewhere. Maybe you'd be one of the lucky ones. If you lived in a coastal city, say like New York, the Hudson River would now be bone dry. Maybe you'd grab a tire inner tube and put on your swimsuit and a backpack and swim out to the dry riverbed. Now, what about the animals? Well, unfortunately, marine life would be toast, or soggy toast. If all the water suddenly disappeared from lakes, rivers, and oceans, fish would be left gasping for air and would die almost instantly. Riverbeds and dried up oceans would be piled up with the carcasses of dead marine animals. No more whales, sharks, or any kind of fish. Say goodbye to sushi. Now, on the bright side, looking at this new world of ocean floors might be a fascinating experience. After all, maps of oceans here on Earth are less detailed than maps we've made of Mars.
Oh, who knew that? If there was no more water in the ocean, we'd be able to walk in the ocean and see the Titanic and, you know, maybe find Amelia Earhart's airplane or something. How interesting.
Scientists find 2,300 new ocean species every year. If we didn't have the water to stop us, we'd find hundreds of thousands of new species. Unfortunately, they'd all be dead. And animals in forests might have it even worse. Instead of a swift death, they might be left to suffer. Big cats like tigers and lions forced to climb up into trees. They might find themselves sharing the canopy with apes. Other animals like zebras and giraffes would be carried away by the current and drown. So some of our land animals would survive and others would go extinct. But regardless of who makes it out alive, ecosystems would be savagely altered. But there are two species that would do particularly well in this scenario. The first are reptiles. Crocodiles, turtles, alligators, they're used to living on both water and land. And as they generally hang out in water close to land, well, they won't have to crawl far to find a new habitat. It'll be right next door. The second group that'll do great is insects. 66 million years ago, when the Chicxulub impactor hit Earth and the planet was full of dead, decaying matter, insects had a feast. Count on a repeat of that scenario as insects jump on anything that's rotting. The bad news? Well, with swarms of mosquitoes, diseases like malaria are likely to break out among humans. Now, besides insects swarming everywhere, the other major problem in our new switched world? Well, there's no electricity. With power plants submerged in water, there'll be...
Oh gosh. Any thoughts on the video? I mean, even just thinking about the animals and who would survive and who wouldn't, but what do you think? It's a
That's
little scary.
that's a horrifying concept.
I mean, it one day it may occur, not that suddenly, but eventually as the, sea levels rise, that is what may be the reality for some animals and people.
Let's hope it's millions of years from now.
Me too, and I won't be on this earth.
Hey,
Yeah, we got to do what we can, as I
I
said.
was
We
trying to
do
live
what we
till be
can now.
100, but I don't think that want to be drowned.
No, not now, but definitely in hundreds of thousands of years, the Earth will
Oh,
look different. Remember we learned like eventually Europe and Africa and Asia will be one continent again because the Earth is always moving and changing every day.
That's why they were trying to go to Mars.
yeah,
Yeah, we got just all the solutions. So it's just a very, again, an existential thing to think about. What if the water and the land switch places? Mm. It would be cool to go see the Titanic, where there
No,
were a bunch of dead fish carcasses everywhere.
dead people carcasses.
That
yeah,
too. It'll
yeah.
be quite a thing. Um, Lou, everything okay?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just letting the other folks talk. Yep.
Okay.
Now what do we have here? What do we have here? Climate change, the connection between the land and sea.
See.
Okay,
It's
let's
Earth
hear
Day,
what
and
this
to
is about.
mark it, we are taking a look throughout the show at everything from renewable energy to what you can do in your community.
We're going to kick off our coverage this morning by taking a deep dive into ocean exploration. The ocean makes up about 71% of the Earth's surface.
Well, I know what that
Despite
is.
its size and its importance to life on Earth, the majority of what goes on beneath the surface is still largely unknown. Organizations like the Schmidt Ocean Institute are working to improve our understanding by using new technology to go where no human has gone before.
Let's bring in the Schmidt Ocean Institute co-founder, Wendy Schmidt, for more on this. Wendy, good morning. Thank you for joining us here.
Good morning. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to you as well. Great to spend it with you. So we want to talk a part about what your organization does, which is really cool. So you actually have this research ship. It's called the Falkor 2. It is free, as my understanding. Scientists can say, I want to come on board. I want to do research here. Tell us about this kind of program that you've created, and what type of discoveries have been made on this ship.
When we started doing this in 2013, we launched our first ship. The problem is that there isn't a lot of ship time for scientists who want to do this kind of research. That's the gating item. So my husband and I thought, let's make the ship time available as much as possible for scientists all over the world. We've had more than 1,100 of them so far.
Wow.
And in exchange for this free time in our laboratories, our robotic vehicles, our high-speed computing, all those tools, they share their information in real time with other scientists, because the oceans are under attack, as you know. It's a critical time to accelerate our understanding of the ocean for all the reasons that we're here today to celebrate Earth Day.
So with that in mind, what kind of voyages do you see in the future for Falkor 2?
Well, we're going to be in all of the ocean basins. We were in 5 countries this past year, in 2023. We did 9 expeditions. Some of the upcoming ones are fascinating. We're going to Antarctica. We're going to look at the interface between the ice and the movement caused by climate.
Look at all these names. Living fossils of the Atacama Trench, Nazca Ridge, Chile. They're doing quite a bit, aren't they?
Change and the systems underneath that water. It's never been mapped before. We have been in an age of discovery for this last year, I have to say. I used to think the age of discovery was the 15th, 16th, 17th centuries, when people were finding mountain ranges and oceans and rivers and all those features. They even found China, I think. They found out where it was. But now we're in a new age altogether. It's like seeing the Earth from space back in 1969. Now we're looking at the ocean in real time with all of our senses, using our robots. And we're discovering life on Earth again.
And tell us the connection that I know you say is so important between what's going on in our oceans, what's going on in our seas, and land. What is that connection? What does it mean for climate change?
What we're really looking at here is a question of resilience. Resilience in the ocean, in a system that's been evolving for 4 billion years, and resilience on land, resilience in our soil. Everything we do on land affects the ocean. And we depend on the ocean for every other breath we take, for all of our primary protein. And there's so much to discover there that could be of use to humans for medicine in the next pandemic. Heaven knows our exploration will help us protect the ocean and create the resilience that it's meant to have. Our impact is affecting that now. And that's what has to change. So if you compost at home and you look at the packaging you buy and you really question how much of that plastic should be in your life, it's going to end up in the ocean. 40% of the debris in the ocean is plastic packaging. Make some little changes, right? We can reduce our emissions by going solar if we can, right? Use your local produce, your local farmers markets, right? Support local resilience, because soil health is ocean health. That's how to think about it.
In just a few seconds, what's your message to people who feel like climate change is such a big problem right now? They're overwhelmed by it.
We're all overwhelmed by it, but I think individual actions will add up together. And those things I just mentioned, leading to resilience, if that's the thing you're really thinking about, you will help the ocean. Because all of us really want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
And really good tips that anybody can kind of grab onto. Farmers market, reducing plastic, things like that. Wendy Schmidt, thank you so much. Happy Earth Day. We appreciate your time this morning.
Lots of great tidbits from that video, but our oceans bring us most of our oxygen. So without the oceans, we would not be able to breathe. So whatever affects the soil affects our ocean. That too. Support local farmers markets. Think about your plastic. Go plastic free. When you throw away something that's plastic, 40% of the plastic thrown away is found in the ocean.
Well,
So,
you know what jumped out at me though, Alex?
mm-hmm.
Is where in the world did she and her husband to get the kind of money to fund this? So, as I always do, I did a little side research. I'm going to read a paragraph to you. Eric and Wendy Schmidt fund ocean research primarily through their personal wealth, accumulated largely from Eric Schmidt's time as the CEO and executive chairman of Google.
Oh.
Well, Lordy have mercy.
Have mercy. This funding is distributed through various philanthropic initiatives, including the Schmidt Ocean Institute. So, Alex, we got to be applying to these folks for the senior iPad program because we're increasing ocean awareness amongst the senior community, including me. Alex, we got to write a grant to this lady.
Yeah.
Thank you for researching, Lou. This is one of our last activities before our not trivia, but something else that we're going to do together. So I found this site and I thought it was just very interesting. So please take a second to read through and we'll see how we feel. So this is I hope you all enjoyed the videos today and to really just think about the ocean as like a whole body of water and life. And I hope you all enjoy it. Lou, take it away.
Sure. The symbolic sea, life, death, and the journey in between. So water is used as a symbol in cultures around the world and back through time. It represents life, death, purification, and our emotions. The meaning or use of water as a metaphor varies depending on the particular body of water. Rivers, for example, can be used differently to lakes. Today, I'm looking at the sea, although inevitably other water bodies will flow in as well. In particular, I'm looking at the sea as a symbol of life, death, of emotion, and the unconscious. Being symbolic of birth, the sea is also associated with sexuality and can be, and I'll be exploring this in another post. Life in all its entirety originated in the ocean, in water, so perhaps it's unsurprising that water symbolizes life, especially when you think that we are all born from the waters of the womb. Water also sustains life, gives us the drink we need to survive, and watering our crops so we have food to eat. The sea also features a lot of creation myths, giving birth to the world, gods, and humanity. For example, an ancient Egyptian story says that the sun god reposed in the ocean. An Afro-Babylonian myth is broader, bringing in fresh water as well. Afro-Babylonian mythology states that the gods, and subsequently all beings, arose from the fusion of salt water, Tiamat, and sweet water, Apsu. Apsu is the embodiment of freshwater abyss that lies beneath the earth. From Tiamat's water comes forth the clouds, and her tears became the source of the Tigris and the Euphrates. It's sort of interesting, actually, in the context of what we learned today, that these ancient Babylonians might have been smarter than us, because it looks like fresh water did come from the earth, by the way. There's a mothering aspect to this symbolism. Life creator, life sustainer, but any relationship can turn sour, and so too can the seas of life turn on us. As easily as they create and foster life, the seas can destroy it. The sea, as unfathomable depths, can kill and is filled with killers. It is undoubtedly a dangerous place and can be a destructive force as much as a creative one. Between life and death, we find the oceans used symbolically in a number of ways. A common interpretation of water and seas is that of purification. We have baptism in Christianity, the purifying tears we cry, and the powerful flooding that Noah endured was a purification of the world. Often, spiritual purification is seen as a type of rebirth, making it appropriate that the sea is a symbol of both life and death. I am sure I am not the only person to find a day by the sea emotionally purifying and feel calmer as a result of it. For me, the pleasure of being by the water can bring with it a feeling of becoming new, of washing away sorrows of life and starting afresh. Life is a journey. A sea crossing can be used to symbolize this. They can be considered akin to transitioning into a new world or a new self, a new start, reaching only by crossing treacherous seas, but can also be seen by the rhythms of life, the high tides, the low tides, the calm days, the storms we all face. Under the surface of the sea, we find emotional depths of our unconscious. Like the ocean, our emotional world is changeable. Sometimes is smooth sailing, and at other times is rocky seas. High crashing waves can threaten to drown us like our emotions, but when things are serene, we feel on a more even keel. Literature which involves characters going out to sea can be representing the exploration of emotions and our unconscious fears and desires. The sea contains so much unexplored space. It has numerous different depths, and what goes on under the surface is not visible from above. Similarly, we have unexplored parts of our minds. There is much more that is unknown about ourselves and our minds, and of course, what we present to the world often doesn't reflect what is going on for us inside. There's much to meditate on when we are considering the sea as a symbol for our own existence. It is a powerful tool and one we can use for our own reflection. How we see the sea often says more about the current state than the sea itself. We see in the sea what we want to see. That was beautiful, Alex. What a great way to conclude this fabulous session on the oceans. I loved it.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts? I just thought it was they explored all different kind of points of views, and it really is the sea, especially like sometimes it's smooth sailing and rocky seas. We can apply the sea to our own life and really learn a lot about ourselves. And but water, life, sea, mythology, history. This is not my thoughts and not Lou's thoughts. This is some person's thought. I just found this article, and you kind of take it as you see it. So.
You know, Alex, it reminds me of my wife and I have frequently said this, that sometimes no matter how stressed out we feel or something like that, just down the block from us is the Martin Luther King Jr. pool in Silver Spring. When we go swimming in that pool, it's like a reset button. No matter how stressed out we are, no matter what's going on in our life, if we jump in that pool and swim for like 30 minutes, it's like the reset button. And it works all the time. It's really weird.
Well, now you have the reason why. Find a day by the sea, emotionally, you found emotionally purifying. You feel calmer. Being by water, you just feel new, washing away the sorrows and starting afresh. So you just literally said what this said it right here, which is it's great. I love that.
And sometimes, have you all had wave dreams when you're feeling like the waves are pulling you out? Anybody have those?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? Oh.
I've heard of those before, Lou. There's another article here. I'm just gonna look through it very quick for us, and I just posted in the chat. But there's water and lakes and the symbolization. Lakes are a reflective mirror. So when you literally look into a lake and see a reflection, it's a reflection of you. A lake containing a monster is very different to which is home to lotus flowers. Lakes can represent tranquility, but mystery and illusion, right? Because some lakes are like small and deep, some lakes are big, but it's I really like that idea. Lotus flowers and Welsh goddesses, we find water sprites, nymphs, and fairies in lakes. So fairy tales and lakes and how if you think of the water in any of those fairy tales, right? Rivers have endless flow. They represent journeys and cycles of life, death, and rebirth. The crossing of a river can mean the completion of a rite of passage, and the mouth of the river is the gateway to another world. So yes, rivers lead to seas and oceans, right?
That's why when you having a very stressful day, you should take a warm soak in water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's a
have
lot of
some
water
family
on your face.
members. I have some family members who have mental health issue, and they like to go by the lake and sit. It's calming. Yeah, and just to hear water. Yeah. Some people have ponds in their backyards, not ponds, but you know those little man-made ponds. Yeah. Trickle of water
Yeah, yeah.
calms you down. Mm-hmm.
My daughter has that. It's like it's an animal magnet too. So it's not just us that feels that way.
Yeah, lakes, the water, the bath. It's you see this beautiful picture, Lake Baratan, a Hindu lake temple in Bali. I mean,
I've actually been there, Alex. I'm amazed to say I've actually been there.
you've been right here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Lou. I know it must have felt otherworldly. Isn't this is gorgeous? I mean, just even no matter how you feel, if you just stand right there and look.
Just looking at the picture is relaxing.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I love it. Again, waters.
I have water on my background, on my
I see.
background on my iPad.
I love
I've
it.
always been drawn to water.
Nice.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed. We learned about where did the oceans come from, so a bit of science, how do currents work, what's the differences between the different terminologies. We looked at what if the land and water switch places, how climate change is affecting us, and why we should think about the connection in the land and sea. And we also looked at the symbolism of water and the seas and oceans, and how there's much more to it than we maybe have thought before coming on this session. I know I feel that way. I hope you all learned a lot today.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Well, I can't wait for our next one too, Alex. What's our next topic?
Oh,
after
it'll be a surprise. So make sure you check out that daily email, folks.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Together. But I thought we've been doing trivia, but y'all are amazing, so smart. Y'all been getting these questions right. So for the next 7 minutes or so, let's do what we love to do together. And I want someone to please pick a question. We're gonna do some Jeopardy together, okay?
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Alex, I gotta complete a grant I'm working on. So
That's
thank
fine.
you all. It's such an
Thank you,
honor.
Lou.
But I'm gonna
But
keep the
Lou,
audio
before
on.
you go, I like your hat. Does
Oh.
it symbolize anything, or it's just a good-looking hat?
Yeah, no, I got this at Home Depot.
Oh,
It was $11. $11. I couldn't help. I had to buy it.
oh,
It's
that's
a
a
nice,
nice
it's a nice
hat.
hat.
My wife can't stand it when I wear this.
Oh
when
no!
Even in this
Wow.
call, she
You
was
look
yelling
cool,
at me to
Lou.
take that hat off. Take that hat off.
Wait.
But I love this hat because I have skin cancer, and it's the best hat for skin cancer.
Oh, you
Oh,
have
yeah, to cover up your.
That's a
oh, yeah.
gorgeous sun.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a hat
fun.
good for gardening.
Yeah, I love this hat.
I love it too.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lou, so much for coming on and sharing your
All
words.
right, I'll leave the audio on because I'll be working in the background on this grant I'm working on.
What-
All right, thank you all.
Lou,
Much,
did you
Lou.
maybe think that maybe this family is a part of the inquiry into Amelia Earhart? Because there's somebody that's studying that, and they found different things, and they found out the crab had ate part of these people and was in the crabs. So they were trying to find out if that had anything to do with where she landed.
Oh yeah, that sounds really interesting, Anne.
Mm-hmm. I
All
was
right,
on the
guys.
Today Show this morning.
I'm checking out. I'll have the audio on.
Okay.
Thank you, Lou.
Okay.
All right, folks. So please pick our first question. We have 5 minutes.
Pacific Ocean 100.
All right. Again, anyone can answer. Anyone can answer. Where is the Pacific Ocean located?
In the Pacific.
Relatively, where is it located?
On the West Coast.
On the West Coast.
Okay, between what continents?
Between
Oh,
North America,
North America.
and
over there in the Middle East.
And
Or
Europe.
Africa.
Is it
Africa.
Europe or Asia? Europe. Yeah.
Between North America and Africa. That's a hard question.
No, between Asia and Australia.
Oh, okay.
Great job, Brenda. Yes. Awesome. Again, the left of America. So between Asia and America.
Asia and America.
That's
Oh,
where the Pacific is, okay? To the west.
to the west. Okay.
To the west.
Okay.
but it's big. Remember, we learned,
Yeah, well, that's the largest ocean. We learned that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's okay. Please pick our next one, folks. Anyone would like to pick?
Atlantic Ocean, 300.
Okay. How much percent of the Earth's surface does the Atlantic Ocean take up?
Oh my God, I should remember that.
So think of the Pacific. How much is that? So just, try to use those clues or what we've learned in the past month. How much?
75%.
Excuse me.
Okay, the
71.
Atlantic Ocean. How much of the Earth's surface does the Atlantic Ocean take up?
The Pacific takes up half.
I'd say a fourth.
No, I saw,
A third.
That sounds feasible too.
nearly a half of the
20%.
30%.
I see you, Brenda. I hear you. 20%.
Brenda said 20%.
Yeah, we looked it
so
up.
I hear you all. Just always think, if you know the Pacific is the largest, and then, we get just thinking of those percentages. So y'all are doing a great job. Thank you. 20% Atlantic Ocean. Always remember that. Next question.
How about Indian Ocean for 500?
Okay, Indian Ocean for 500. During the winter, which way does the water flow in the Indian Ocean?
Two places, really. Hattie Holmes. Where am I?
North.
Indian Ocean. So you got to think where the Indian Ocean is, and use your devices, use your heads.
West.
All right, Brenda, 3 for 3. Anyone gonna show out on Brenda? West, yes.
Google is your friend.
That's right. Google is your friend. So during the winter, where does the water flow, or whatever, right? You just type it. Melting of the snow, west? Let me see. West. Water flows through rivers along the west coast. Westerlies. The westerlies are strongest in the winter hemisphere in times when the pressure are lower. Wow, again, just one question. You can learn a lot. Next taker, please pick one. Especially someone that has not shared yet.
Don't be shy, y'all.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Others, 100.
Others, 100. Okay. What ocean might not be considered an ocean by some people?
Uh-oh.
So we learned about 5. So what do you think? What do you think it may be?
What others?
What ocean may not be
May not be.
The Arctic Ocean.
other people?
Antarctic. The Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, the southern, which is the Antarctic Ocean. So wonderful job. Why is the Southern Ocean sometimes not considered ocean? And well, just me thinking now, because which two are the smallest oceans?
Antarctic oceans.
Yes, the Arctic and the Antarctic.
Ocean by area. The first two are the Arctic.
Okay. All right. So we got to think through that in that manner. Thank you all for your patience. I'm not sure what happened. Give me a moment. Okay. Let me go back to our screen. Thank you. So yeah, the Southern Ocean sometimes is not considered an ocean, but it's all in the holder why it may not be considered an ocean. Again, it's always good when you read something, always double check. It's like a distinct ocean because its boundary is defined by current rather than landmass. So it was for a while it was divided on whether it should be a separate designation, but because of its a unique ability to isolate and mix waters, along with the distinct biological and physical properties, it led to its recognition as the fifth ocean. And then we remember that. I remember them saying that because it's very unique. This area here in the Southern Ocean, where this current is, the light inside of it is super different than outside of that ring, outside of that current. So because it's very unique in that area, that's why it is now considered an ocean, but there's no international consensus right now.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good question. I love that question. Please pick another one for us, folks. One more.
Atlantic Ocean 300.
All right, Cassandra, let's see how y'all do. Atlantic Ocean 300. Oh, we did that one already. This one is 20%.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Pick another one, Cassandra, please.
The Arctic Ocean 300.
Okay. Because of the ice, what animal lives on it?
Polar bears. Polar bears.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Y'all got that one.
Polar bear, yep. Arctic Ocean. We got to think of what ocean we're talking about so you can get that answer. One more.
Pacific Ocean. 500.
Oh, five. Okay, 500. This is a good one. What is the Latin word for Pacific and what does it mean?
Wow.
Pacifica and peace.
I'll take that. Pacificus and peaceful. Wonderful. How you knew that already, Bridget?
No, I just looked at the word because it's derived from Latin, and when you study Latin in school.
I love that.
That's the only thing I remember.
Didn't Bridget get that answer so fast, y'all?
Yeah.
Bridget.
Yeah, you remember your Latin better than I do.
Yeah,
that's why it's the Pacific Ocean. So let's see, Pacificus Latin, meaning peaceful, a name given by Magellan in 1521 after he encountered calm waters during his circumnavigation voyage. But while it translates to peaceful sea, the Pacific Ocean is actually known for its vast storms, powerful currents, and significant seismic activity, earning it other nicknames like the Shipwreck Coast.
It's not actually peaceful.
Right, but he just so happened after a difficult journey, he entered the ocean and it was calm at the time. He named the ocean Mar Pacifico, which translates to peaceful sea from the Latin word pacificus.
I'm sick of Bridget.
Look, I love Latin.
I see. You got that so fast. You would have won all the money.
I'm real sick of Bridget.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks so much for this different style. I love Jeopardy. I love when you played it for DC. So thought it would be nice to end it off like this. And we looked at all the oceans. So now we are ocean travelers, folks.
Hey.
So always just think about the ocean, learn more, and even if we may not, or you may not, or I may not be able to visit it, we could still learn and see it as much as we can through our devices. Isn't that an amazing feeling?
Yes.
I will see you all in a few for Module 5, but this is the conclusion of our Oceans Month, and we appreciate your participation. Thank you, Lou, for hosting, and see you all shortly.
Good job, Lou. Good job, Lou. Good job, Coach.
Everyone. Thank you.
Good job, Alex.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Very
interesting today.
The oceans were very nice to learn about.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah.
Module 5, 1:30. Jordan, I'll see you all then, okay?
Okay. Now.
Thank you. Have a wonderful lunch. I hope you had a great lunch.
Yeah, I did.
So much. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.